So there's a little RC car I'm practicing with. It's tiny. It also bounces a lot. Like right over here. Well, I slowed down, so it wasn't that much. It also has no traction whatsoever when it goes in the grass. Oh, that's new. Haven't had that happen before. Okay. Switched out the rear tires to drifting ones. I don't want to take off all of them or switch them because then it might as well just be ice skating. So we'll see how that turns out. Oh, that's drifting. That is most definitely drifting. It's kind of small though. Oh, there we go. I still need to figure out what to do with this ramp here because it keeps flipping over there. Oh. And it got stuck. Okay. Another upgrade I can do is right now it's got four-wheel drive, which really just means there's a motor here. It's a hot air balloon now. I'm trying to see if I can get a good view of it, but I can't see it at all. Anyway, right about here there's a motor that pushes it back and forth. Then, through some gears, it connects. There's a gear right in the middle in there. And then that essentially hooks these two tires, this axle up, to simulate that four-wheel drive. So watch. So I move this, those move too. Like that. So if you wanted to make this into a rear wheel drive, all you have to do is disconnect the gear that goes right there. Because as soon as that gear is taken out, this axle doesn't get any power. So what ends up happening is these move around, and then these only move from being pushed. So if you combine that with switching these tires to drifting ones, you essentially have a drifting truck. Of course, the problem there is this thing is still too light. That is why on that crack right there, it keeps tipping over and actually rolled and landed upside down. It's also a problem there, right there, and there, and there. So, as weird as it sounds, I gotta figure out, we can get Spectre one next. I gotta figure out how to make this guy heavier. One way I could do that is by loading the cab bed. So, just for an example, loading it with extra tires, just finding a way to keep these strapped down so they don't fall out. That could work. Another thing I could do, which this would also help with the grass problem, is figuring out a way to lower the tires, or rather raise the rest of the car and fit bigger tires. Preferably some that have an actual off-road trim. Because these, they have street trim, sure, but they're too small for it to make a difference. So that's another upgrade I could do. The battery that's in here is one just like this. It came with two of these guys. This guy. So let me see if this shows. So this has 500 milliamp hours. It's good for about 25 minutes. I found some that are 4,000 milliamp hours. So I can get one of those, put that in there. It's going to be bigger and heavier. So it would both increase the battery life and give us a little bit of weight so we don't tip over. Finally, we take out the motor that's in here and we get one that spins faster. It's going to use more amps. So rather than, this one's 1 amp. So we get one that does 2 or maybe 3. The higher the amperage, the less the battery's going to last. So for example, if we get a 3 amp, triple the capacity, this is the battery here is going to go from about 25 minutes to 8. But if we get the 4,000 amp battery, that would be 8 times divided by 3, so 8/3. So that'd be over almost triple the battery life, almost an hour. While also being triple as fast. So this would go from about 10 miles an hour to 30. It would compete against my drag spec car. That's all the ideas I have. Faster motor, changing this from 4-wheel drive to rear wheel, and then looking into different tires and the battery. And overall, it's not a bad car. Cost me about 30 bucks. It's pretty. It does drift. It'll drift better once we upgrade it. It's just too lightweight. Kind of a weird problem to have, but here we are. What I could do is get one of these screws, but longer. And then a tire like this, but have this part be longer so it's extended out. That way it's still fitting in that same axle. So basically find a way to have the truck so the tire's out here like that, so it could be bigger instead of in there like that. Yeah, probably the easiest way to do a conversion. From there I can make it bigger, that way it's taller. And that would fix the off-road problem.